For those of you that didn't know, Dogwood Lakes Campground gets its water from a well. So today we're going to talk about the water system at Dogwood. There are a lot of components to consider when looking at the Dogwood water system, such as the well, pressure tanks, water softeners, chlorinators, and retention tanks. Let's look at what makes up the Dogwood well system. There are well casings that are installed in the well to prevent against contaminants. There is a well pump that pumps the water into the basement of the caretaker's house, and there are pressure tanks. These store water under pressure, and they push the water through the lines throughout the park. They also prevent your pump from constantly running. This picture should help you visualize what our well system looks like. The well is dug deep into the ground until it reaches the water. The well is lined with a casing, so the water can travel up this casing through a pump, and that's where it reaches the pressure tanks. These pressure tanks are stored inside the caretaker's house. And these pressure tanks is what pushes the water throughout the park. Now that we've looked at the well system, let's take a look at the water treatment system. The water treatment system consists of the chlorinator, which adds chlorine or a bleach to kill the microorganisms and remove the sulfur smell from the water. Then we have water softeners that reduce the hard water, and we have retention tanks that are used to mix and kill bacteria. To get a better understanding, let's take a look in the caretaker's basement where we can see all of this equipment that I just described. Here we have our water softeners and our brine tanks where we put the salt for the water softeners. And next to those we have our retention tanks or mixing tanks, and these are used to mix chemicals that kill the bacteria in the water. So here we have 3 different mixing tanks, and next to those the blue tanks, these are our pressure tanks. They store several gallons of water under pressure, and they allow the water to be pushed out into the lines throughout the park. And finally, we have our chlorinator, which is used to kill microorganisms and reduce the sulfur smell. DNR requires us to test our water daily. The caretaker is required to take daily samples. These samples are then tested using a testing meter and recorded, and then these numbers are submitted to DNR. Let's take a look at what the water system costs. The well pumps cost $3,000 to $5,000 each. The casings cost several $1,000s depending on the length. Pressure tanks are around $1,600 each. Retention tanks are around $1,200, and the chlorinator is around $1,400. Other water system costs include water softeners, which are around $1,200 to $1,500 each, and then you got to consider buying water softener salt, gallons of bleach for the chlorinator. If you have to drill the well deeper, there's several thousands of dollars, as well as other things such as pipes, fittings, and check valves. What are the lifespan of some of these water system components? The pressure tanks have lasted us 4 to 8 years, but it's been around 6 years since we've last replaced one, so it's getting to be about time. Pump motors have lasted us 7 to 8 years, and it's been 8 years since we've last replaced the pump motor. We lowered the well pump by 84 feet in 2006, so it's been 16 years since it's been dug deeper, so it's only a matter of time before we'll have to be dug deeper again. So what does all of this mean? Basically, our water system is a critical piece of infrastructure to our park. If we have no water, there's no caretakers, no clubhouse, no bathrooms, no pool. Basically, there's no dog. If you look at the trends, we're due for replacement on equipment, and we have very little money in the budget for major repairs. The water system budget for 2022 is budgeted for $3,000. The total amount of carryover money in our entire budget, if we stay in budget, is only $930. As you can see, we don't have funds for major repairs. So the next time you turn on your water faucet here at Dogwood, realize that the water isn't free. Hopefully this explains how our water system works. It isn't free. The system costs us a lot of money to operate and maintain, and we must realize that we are due for some expensive replacements here in the future. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video.